This is the Endurance Edit. We're very excited to have our first in-person guest on the podcast today. Everyone, please welcome Jim Cunningham. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So in the sporting world, I guess that's what we're talking about. I've been involved in bicycles and triathlon for a long time. I first got into cycling when I was a kid, racing BMX bikes, and eventually raced road bikes. Started this business, Greenville Cycling and Multisport. Well, it's been 22 years now. Started as just me as a coach and has grown to being brick and mortar for the last 15, 16, maybe 17 years. With 7 coaches, and we do a lot of bike fittings and have a full-time mechanic and build some custom bikes and run and help with camps all over the world, mostly in this country, but sometimes out of it. Yeah, that's what it's about.
Interesting. I didn't know that you actually had 7 coaches here.
We have 7 coaches. We coach anywhere between 80 and 100 people at any given moment, and that's been a challenge for forever. When someone says, "I didn't know you did that," it's constant.
Yeah.
And we do the social media. We have a website, on and on and on, but it still happens all the time.
Yeah, I follow your social media now, but I mean, I heard about you from Charles, so that's how I found you. So I guess word of mouth is good, but it only goes so far.
Yeah, word of mouth is how this business grew and continues to grow primarily. We do very little advertising. We have our social media channels, and I have a guy that does several posts a month. My understanding is the right way to do that is several posts a day.
Yes.
I've never felt the need.
That's what we're figuring out too, because, our podcast is very small right now, but in order to grow it, I've been, brainstorming strategy, looking into what to do. And everybody says you need to be posting 5 to 10 times a day. And I'm like,
that's
day?
a full-time job.
Yeah, this is, a hobby, and it's not my full-time job. So that's definitely been interesting. But you stay pretty busy regardless of just word of mouth, right?
I was just going to comment on that. The reason I don't spend more and do more is we stay very busy.
Yeah.
And if we're slow in December, and that's it.
Yeah.
Last December was not slow. It was a great month.
Yeah. Because I saw you in December, and you were like, usually it's slow, but it's not.
We're busy, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of 7-day weeks. I've had a 39-day in a row stint recently, a 22-day in a row. I worked every day last week. I'm working every day this week.
Dang.
So I don't know if I want to be any busier.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, if anybody is listening and you need anything from bike fit to bike work and a coach, check Jim out. But don't everyone come flooding at once, I guess.
Yeah,
Make
right.
you too
No,
busy.
we're ready. That's a little bit of hyperbole, but we're very busy. My point there is, advertising a whole bunch more. I'm not sure it would help, because this is largely built on word of mouth.
Right. Yeah. And I think people appreciate that too, word of mouth, because, if somebody has a good experience with you, then somebody tells you to come here, then you know that you trust them and they trust you. So, yeah. I mean, that's how I came here. So
yeah, exactly.
And I've got a ton of work done to both my bikes here and bike fits too, which is one of the things I wanted to talk about today. So we've already got into a little bit about your business, but something I think is really important is a proper bike fit. And I know Emma's had a bike fit done, not here because she's in Nashville, but I have had a bike fit on both my bikes here. So would you be able to explain a little bit about Retool and why you think bike fits are so important for athletes?
Yeah, that's a long answer. I'll try to pare this down. First of all, a solid fitting, Retool being one of the services available. That's what we've been using for years. There's others out there. Is the cost of a nice bike helmet. It's not the cost of an expensive bike helmet.
Right.
So there's a lot of value in it. All of our fittings include follow-up if needed, and not just one time. Only so many people have to come back, probably 1 in 30 or 40, but follow-ups included. I do, should I say we, but I do all the fits. A 20-minute postural assessment. And when you go to fitting schools, they teach you how to check for leg length and flexibility and things like this. And I took that a step further. I worked with a physical therapist for 3 years. I rented space from him. He owned his own building, had his own practice. And over 3 years, he taught me infinitely more than bike fitting schools teach. So one of the things I can do that maybe other fitters can't do or do as in depth is I can give prescriptive exercises and stretches. with a lot of confidence that they're going to help improve or fix whatever that problem
ailment
is.
or injury that's going on.
So you fit somebody sometimes and things are largely in good position. Well, why do my hands hurt? Why does my back hurt? Why does my neck hurt? Why are my feet going numb? And a lot of times it's a matter of the exercises and stretches, and
the fit, but also
yeah,
that's interesting. I mean, so one of the first reasons that I came to Jim for a fit was because I had a hamstring injury, which I've talked about on this podcast a little bit. And we're still not 100% sure whether the hamstring injury was from bike or from the run. But regardless, I got a proper bike fit on both my bikes and did PT. And I haven't had an issue with my hamstring, knock on wood, since. So it's been almost 8 months of healthy hamstring. So I think the bike fit was very influential for me. So
likely part of it, sure.
Yeah. I think it's important that everyone gets a proper bike fit. I know I have some friends that are just getting into triathlon or maybe just getting into cycling, and it is, like you said, it's a helmet. It's not $50 to go get a bike fit, but I do think it's money well spent if you're going to be able to ride healthy and not have any injuries, and especially if you're wanting to be in this sport for a while. I think it's really important. Do you agree?
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so how long ago was it that you went to bike fitting school?
First bike fitting school I went to was in 2000. I think it was late September, late 2005, the year I moved here. Yeah, the worst case, if that is the right thing to say, was 2006.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was right away. And if I can expand on that, that's an interesting story. I went with a friend of mine named Kelsey Oliver, and we went to Michael Sylvester's fitting school. He was running around the country doing this in different places, and it was in Asheville, so it was close. And I loved it. I took to it like a fish to water. Kelsey did not like it. And I don't know if he's ever done a fit once.
Well, we know where he works now, so.
Yeah, we do know where he works.
So I don't know if he's done any bike fits. Kelsey, who he's talking about, is Charles's like manager's manager now at Michelin. So it's kind of interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but my point is, why did I like it and he didn't? Well, prior to this, I was in the tuxedo business for 15 years.
Yes, I remember you said that.
Teaching lots of people how to fit individuals and learning about asymmetries and longer torso, longer legs. And I think part of that, it just made sense to me. But I was much more excited about it because my passion is cycling. My passion was never tuxedos. It was a fun job for a while.
Yeah. But would you say that kind of helped you like build up your sales skills and like personal skills working with people?
Absolutely. Yeah. I first learned how to work with people and talk with people delivering newspapers.
Oh.
Since I was from like 12 years old to 18 years old, I pretty much 7 days a week delivered newspapers.
So that was like your first job before selling tuxedos.
Yeah, and then you have to go out and, you have to go out and collect the money from the people once a week. So I'm out there talking to all these adults. And I think that's how I really learned how to communicate well with people.
Interesting.
And ask questions.
I mean, yeah, that's a good way to do it. I've heard a lot of people. I mean, I know like delivering newspapers isn't as big of a thing nowadays just because everybody's like, oh, I'll just read it online.
Yeah,
but
anyone does.
I know a lot of people still do like door-to-door sales. And as annoying as people say that is, I think a lot of people that are in sales start out by doing something like that and really just build up your sales skills, because a lot of people slam the door in your face and be like, nope, not doing it today. Yeah. So I guess you just have to figure out like the right things to say and how to really get in people and make them buy something.
Yeah, that helped with the interpersonal communication, and I went to school for business, which definitely helped.
Yeah.
While I did that while I was in that tuxedo company for those 15 years, not all of them, actually about 10 of them. I never took a lot of classes, but I went all year long, and it all made total sense to me.
Yeah.
It was not completely easy, but I found that education pretty easy to get through.
Yeah.
To just fit.
And it probably just kind of was like building blocks one on top of the other. While you were learning it in the field, you were also learning it in school. That's interesting because I haven't taken like barely any business classes. Emma, have you taken any business classes? Well, you have an MBA, so you have.
Yeah, I have an MBA.
Yeah, I have taken like approximately one, engineering economics. I guess that's sort of business, but I don't know a lot about business in general. So I think like, especially the marketing and like social media for this podcast. I mean, I know it's kind of like on the outskirts of the business. Marketing may be a separate category, but it's kind of been just learning through trial and error. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But Emma knows more about business than me because she does have an MBA.
MBA is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a pretty low-key MBA.
Well, you still have it. Like we always say,
Yeah.
master's is master's, you know.
Yeah, as long as you learn something.
Yes. So how long have you been cycling? I know before we started this podcast, we had a brief conversation that Jim was saying his parents cycled, which sort of influenced you.
So I started when I was a kid, as young as, I don't know, 4 or 5, and then got into BMX racing, did a couple of BMX races. And then,
Is that mountain biking?
No, BMX is a bicycle motocross. They're 20-inch wheels. You'll have to look it up and watch some videos. It's pretty interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure what that was, actually.
Yeah, the races are 3 to 5 minutes long.
Oh.
And pedaling cadences get up into the 140s and 50s for the best individuals. It's a completely different style of racing.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't know if my cadence has ever been that high.
Yeah, that's rather high. You see that in BMX and on the velodrome, the track. That's about it.
Oh, yeah.
So after that, I didn't do a lot of riding in my late teens and 20s. I did ride a mountain bike some, and I remember I got into weightlifting. I used to ride to the gym on the mountain bike, and each way was like 13 or 14 miles.
Oh, dang.
And I'd go pretty much as hard as I could to get there, but I didn't consider that
a
exercise
workout,
because now I was into this weightlifting thing.
Right. You were like, this is just how I get there.
Yeah. So then I got tired of the gym, fast forward to 1998, aging myself. And I told my dad to put a bike together for me. I was tired of the gym. I was grooved. It just felt like I was doing the same thing all the time.
Right.
Phoning it in. And I remember the first ride I did, and I was like, I should have started this a long time ago.
So he built a bike for you?
Yeah, he had all kinds of bikes. He actually
nice.
put together Eddie Merckx bikes. That was one of my mom's.
Huh.
And it was great, and it worked fine. Long, down the line, I realized it was a little too small, but it was fine to start.
It worked.
Yeah, and I just got in 100%, and here we are today. I started racing. I didn't know if I wanted to race. I built a lot of fitness, and I do these group rides with people, and they'd be like, "You need to try racing." And part of me was like, "I don't want to compete." And then I know someone said to me, "What are you going to do with all that fitness?" I'm like, "All right, I'll give it a try." And I tried, and I really liked it. So.
Yeah. So wait, tell us a little bit more about your racing career. I know Charles mentioned to me that you raced nationally. So what style racing did you do? Yeah,
so I raced exclusively road racing.
Okay.
Yeah. Like what we're seeing on the TV right now, Tour de France style bikes. Never got to that level, but I did pretty well. I didn't start race. My first race was probably when I was 29, and a lot of
it's relatively late to start racing.
Yeah, a lot of Division 2 and 3. Again, Division 1's your Tour de France level.
Right.
A lot of those individuals are retired by then. My friend Andy Baker retired before he was 28.
Huh.
And he raced pro. So,
interesting.
It was late. My chances of getting on a team and being paid to race as a profession was slim to none.
Right.
Pretty much none. But I did work my way up from Category 5 to Category 1, which is the highest category. My friend Sean and I were on a pro team for 1 year.
Oh, nice.
Team Endeavor out of Wisconsin.
Okay.
It wasn't much pro at all, but we were still doing the same races, which are pro 1-2 races. Categories of riders that race together.
I only know a little bit about the category system because I don't really do any road racing. I only do triathlons now.
Sure.
But from the Greenville Cycling Classic, how they have listed like 1, 2, 3, 4. And I mean, Charles has told me a little bit about it as well.
So it's fun. I enjoyed it. Had a ton of fun. Made some lifelong friends. Had good success. I won the state championship here in South Carolina 3 times.
Very nice.
At the Category 1 level. So that was pretty darn rewarding. And then did races all over the country. Stage races were what I was best at. So stage race is a multi-day race.
Okay. Sort of like the Tour de France?
Like that. That's a grand tour because it's 21 days. The most I ever did was 7.
Okay.
And I found was I wasn't real good at anything. And in a nutshell, you have sprinting, climbing, time trialing.
Okay.
I was pretty good at all of them.
And
it was enough that I could do well in those races.
Okay. Especially the stage races?
Stage races.
Okay.
Yeah. Called stage race because multi-days. So that was my forte.
How do the stage races work? I don't honestly really know anything about cycling. Like pure cycling.
So the in a nutshell, the biggest thing to understand is you have say it's 7 days in a row. You're doing one race each day. And everybody is timed, and whoever finishes all 7 days with the least amount of cumulative time racing wins overall. Okay, so if I finish it in 26 hours and the next person's 26 hours and 5 seconds, I'm first, that person's second, so on. Now there are races within the race. One being winning one day for anybody is a great thing. You won a stage. You might not win the overall. You might crash in the 5th stage and abandon and not even finish the whole thing, but you won a stage. So there are always people that are in their mind are like, well, I'm a really good sprinter. I think I can win this stage. Mm-hmm. But with this climbing coming up, I don't know if I'll even be able to finish. So you have people that shoot to win a stage.
That's their main goal with it.
Yeah, and cool. some stage races are time based, like I just mentioned. Others are points based, which means first place person each day, say, gets 20 points. Second, down to 2 points for 10th or whatever, and then whoever has the most points at the end mm-hmm. is the overall winner. Even though their time might not be the lowest. So there's points based and time based.
Interesting.
I always like time based.
Is the Greenville Winter Bike League sort of set up like that, where there's like different KOM challenges and like sprints?
Okay, so those there's this gray area that a lot of folks don't understand. So Winter Bike League, your fondos, medios, those are not bike races per se.
Oh.
Those are rides with challenges within them, but they are not USA Cycling sanctioned or UCI races, which is the International Cycling thing. The Winter Bike League is a great thing, and it helps a lot of people get fit. And they have a ride every Saturday, in the winter, maybe early spring, to get ready for things. And they'll have little incentives in there to win this or do that. But that is a training group ride.
Interesting.
First and foremost. And, still a great thing. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people doing them, and it really helps a lot of people get ready.
Yeah. There might be something similar in Nashville, Emma, but it's basically just like a 8-week series that they do in Greenville. There's like a Facebook group, and they'll say, got A, B, and C groups rolling out at 10 a.m. from this location. These are the routes we're doing. And there will be like challenges within the ride. Like if you are the fastest on this mountain, get the KOM or whatever.
Or that sprint zones.
Sprint zones, yeah.
I've never heard of that in Nashville.
It's probably there. The only reason that I know what it is Charles will occasionally ride in it. I personally haven't done the Winter Bike League yet because I just kind of learned how to draft recently.
Yeah, nerves.
Because, Emma and I do triathlon mainly, so we don't draft in triathlon. So I only learned how to draft just because I wanted to do more group rides on my road bike.
Sure.
Yeah. But I know we also in Greenville, Emma, we have like Donaldson group rides, which that's not like a USA sanctioned cycling event either. It's more just like a training sort of
it's
opportunity.
Another training ride. 5 rides that go out in the countryside at different speeds that they'll average. And then they have 2 races that go around the airport. But that's a training race. That is a race like the ones I was mentioning are real races, for lack of a better term. But you do not pin on a number. There's no prize at the end.
It's just like a series.
A training race to be able to train. There's a lot of that around the country. They use often on Tuesday nights. So we often call them the Tuesday Night World Championships, which is not true at all.
Yeah.
But it's a big deal. When I was racing seriously, I did pretty much every week. I would do that.
Huh.
And
that'd be like your speed workout of the week or one of them?
I wouldn't call it that. No, it was a circuit race. It's a 7-mile circuit with 2 or 3 climbs. And
I ride at Donaldson a good bit, so I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, different wind profiles. The wind changes as the sun goes down, so you do different things at different times, and a lot of times you do things you wouldn't do at bigger races or races that are far away. For example, let's talk about someone I coach. I might say, okay, Matt DeFore, he'll be watching this, so I'll mention him. So he often does Donaldson. He does the B race, not the A race.
Okay.
And I have told them in the past, I want you to attack as much as possible and go as hard as you can and see if you can establish the break. And if you don't, I'd rather you didn't finish. I want you to go that hard.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that if you're going out of town for a race.
No.
Because you're spending all that time and money and so on, and you might want to see how well you can do.
Yeah.
So in a training race, sometimes you do that to not only see if not only because you're just local and home and it's a $5 race, but you may actually do that and learn that you are better than you thought you were.
Okay.
Because you may go do some of that attacking and all that and make the break and get 3rd place the first time in your life. And
interesting.
That's really good for confidence.
Yeah. Definitely.
You realize, hey, I'm better than I thought I was. I just did something tonight I didn't think I could do. So you use those races for training purposes sometimes.
Interesting. Yeah. It'd probably be good for me to do eventually, but I'd be like in the C group.
Yeah, well, there's only an A and B. And the B's average 24 or 5, and the A's average 28 or 29. So
yeah, I couldn't hold 24 right now. And the fact that I really don't know how to draft in a Peloton either.
You start by, you do your first one and say, okay, let's see if I can make it through 2 laps.
Yeah. Emma and I
one lap, then go from there.
Emma and I both actually surprised ourselves at our most recent race, Chattanooga 70.3. It's a really hilly course, 56 miles, and they're about 3,000 feet of elevation. Emma, is that right? 2,900 or something?
That feels right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And we're on TT bikes, but both of us average 21 miles per hour.
Awesome.
So for us, that's good.
Sure. It's great.
I was very happy with that.
Yeah.
That's a great benchmark. So now next year you know what you want to beat.
Yes, exactly.
Good measure to see if you're getting better.
Yes, definitely. So kind of circling back to bike fits, how much performance do you think someone can realistically gain from a proper bike fit?
It's a great question. A lot, but not everybody. So I'll give you a good empirical example. So many of us, most of us, maybe all of us, can ride with our saddle too low. It doesn't really hurt.
Yeah.
You ride with your saddle too high, often pretty quickly you get pain in the back of your knees, or hamstrings if you have tight hamstrings or your back. So a lot of individuals that come in and they fit, their saddle's too low. And
so it doesn't hurt, but it just kind of stunts performance.
Yeah, and here's why. So when you're pedaling, your femur, your upper leg, your thigh, is this big lever doing work. So if this is a hammer, and this is the analogy, if my saddle's way too low, it's like swinging the hammer from here. I'm not getting the leverage that I'll get if my saddle's in the right height. So I've had many people over the years that I've that in the situation where I raise their saddle considerably, and it may be over a couple of visits because you can't raise too much right now.
Right.
It needs to go up 45 millimeters.
Yeah.
We're not doing all that today. We do half of that today. You ride for 4 weeks, then we do the rest.
Right. Yeah.
And in many, many cases when we've had quantum changes in that sort of vacuum saddle height, I've had many, many people come back to me and tell me, show me they were stronger with their power numbers, or they say their buddies are complaining and what did I do? Because now they're ripping their legs off, so to speak. Had that. My buddies are mad at you because I'm so much faster since you did my bike fit. I've heard that, which is a real honor to hear.
Yeah. Too bad for the buddies, but hey, I'd rather be faster.
Right. So it can change a lot. That's one example. There's a plethora of them. Another would be comfort.
Yeah.
So comfort does equal speed. If your bike's not comfortable, you can only fight through discomfort for so long before you're going to slow down. That's just a fact. So if I have someone come in that's rather uncomfortable and they're doing Chattanooga averaging 19 and we get them in a more comfortable position and aches and pains go away and so on,
then you can push a little harder.
Good chance they're going to be faster.
Yeah.
So you have to look at the comfort aspect of it.
Yeah.
Those are two examples of how much you can improve somebody.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's really good to know. Hopefully some of our listeners that haven't had a bike fit yet will take this as their sign to go get one.
Yeah, that's cool.
I know I have one friend in particular that I'm thinking of that listens to this, and she needs to get a bike fit. I've told her your contact info.
Emma needs to get over here.
Emma's had a bike fit before.
I've had one.
Cool.
I do think I might need an adjustment. My lower back does not have a great time. Like I always want to pop my back when I'm riding. It's really annoying. And then I do have the foot numbness occasionally. It's super obnoxious.
Yeah.
So
see your fitter there again, or do something. Yeah.
If your fitter will do an adjustment for you, like I know Jim will do adjustments up to a certain amount of time after he'll do the fit. So I don't know if whoever fit you would do the same, but if you just you could see, or you could next time you come visit, come see Jim.
Yeah.
I'll give you another good example of improvement. This one was extreme. Matt DeFore, I mentioned him once already in this podcast.
Shout out, Matt.
He's going to love it or hate it. So I don't think he'd mind me expressing this. I won't give details, but Matt has one leg considerably shorter than the other. And when he first started riding, he rode with equal length cranks on each side.
Oh.
And I did that for a while.
That couldn't have been comfortable.
I don't think it was horribly uncomfortable, but it was real clear. You look at one leg, it's like, oh, that leg's clearly extending appropriately, and the other one's like, that one's not extending enough at all. And we remedy that. We switch his cranks so that one's 25 millimeters longer than the other. His next ride, and I was riding with him a lot then, night and day difference in his power.
Huh.
He was like back of the pack, off the back all the time, and then almost immediately he was at the front, and he's done some just awesome stuff since, both racing, and then he just got back from Italy, did a 7-day ride in the Dolomites.
Oh my gosh, I would love to do that. Sounds like a dream.
There's an example of where fit can really make a difference. I've never had anybody with a larger leg length discrepancy.
Yeah.
Unless they were an amputee. I work with a lot of paracyclists, so it's not really a leg length discrepancy. That's an amputation, but you get the idea.
Yeah. So that was something else I had on my list. So Charles mentioned that you work with veterans as well.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about the work. So you said you work with paracyclists and veterans.
Yeah. So that's a big ball of wax, and something that I never had on my radar when I first started. An individual named Bryant Young came to me above the knee amputee and said, "Hey, will you coach me?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to know some things, and I'm going to have to learn a bunch of things. If you're comfortable with that, let's do it." And he got invited to a talent ID camp with the head coaches and high performance director of the U.S. Paracycling National Team. And I gave him a bunch of questions to ask that person, and he did before he went. And that coach, his name's Craig Griffin, contacted me and said, "Hey, will you come work the camp?" So I fell into this paracycling world, had to learn a ton of stuff, because you have, above and below the knee amputees, you have individuals that are in hand cycles. Really pedaling with their arms because they have a spinal cord injury, lower body doesn't work. So I got into that world and was a national team coach with U.S. Paracycling for about 10 years.
Wow.
And the offshoot of that to veterans is a thing called the Warrior Games.
Okay.
So I encourage everybody to look up the DOD Warrior Games. Google that.
Okay. Is that Department of Defense?
It is the Department of Defense.
Okay.
And it's been going on for 17, 18, maybe 19 years. I've been involved for 16 or 17. It's all the divisions of the military competing against each other in paracycling. In parasport, excuse me.
Cool. Okay. So not just cycling.
Yeah, there are now 12 sports. The latest thing they just added was pickleball.
Oh, wow.
So I was with the Army for a couple of years. I was the head coach of the Special Ops Command team for 6. And I've been the head coach of the Marine Corps cycling team for 8 now.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of them are veterans.
So
some are active duty. It's active duty and retired.
Active duty
I deal with both.
Okay. So are some of the cycling camps you still do for the Marine Corps?
Yes.
Okay. Because when you said you went out to California back in like February, I think?
Yeah. We train at Camp Pendleton, which is North County, San Diego.
Yeah.
Basically right between San Diego and Orange County.
Yeah.
Which is the bottom of Los Angeles, I guess you'd say. And then a few times to Camp Lejeune, which is in North Carolina, outside of Jacksonville.
As an environmental engineer by trade, I know about Camp Lejeune.
Oh, yeah.
The water quality issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, Camp Pendleton too.
Yeah. Yep. And we've had joint camps with the Air Force at in Colorado Springs, as well as in Las Vegas and San Antonio, Texas.
That's really cool.
And the Warrior Games this year just went by, and about 8 weeks ago, they were in San Antonio this year.
Okay. So did you go to that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, cool. Did you bring your bike?
No, I have a team bike.
Oh, wow.
It's not really mine, but they have lots of bikes.
And so
and they ship all these containers. The stuff is stored either at Camp Lejeune or Pendleton, both. And then I use one of the bikes for the 10, 12, 13 days on there.
That's really cool. Actually, a project manager I work with at work was at Camp Pendleton for like 10 years. And he just got out in the Marines 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
So I'll have to ask him if he knows anything about this.
Yeah. DOD Warrior Games. Yeah. Well, so many people don't know about it. I tell a lot of people about it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's really awesome. And I'm
one last offshoot of that.
Oh, yeah.
In 2016 or 17, I was working the Warrior Games. It's one of my last years with SOCOM, working the Warrior Games at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. And I was walking down talking to the various hand cyclists lined up for their race, and I bumped into somebody. I'm like, oh, sorry. And then I finished talking. I stood up and I looked to my left, and it was Prince Harry.
No way.
Yeah, he was there checking it out. He'd heard about this. We had the Brits there. We have allied nations at Warrior Games sometimes. And from that, he liked so much, he developed the Invictus Games, which is all the militaries of the world competing against each other in parasport.
So have you been to that?
Yeah, I was I coached for the national team for cycling for 2 years, one in Orlando, one in Toronto, Canada.
Wow.
And so that's also veterans and active duty, and that's short story long.
Huh.
That should answer your last question.
That, yeah.
There's a lot to it.
That's really cool. I had no idea about the extent of all of that. So.
And that was not in my business plan. I had a business plan when I started.
Yeah.
That fell in my lap back to this guy named Bryant Young that asked me if I'd coach him, that lives right here in Greenville, South Carolina.
Huh. Yeah. That's really cool how I feel like some things just kind of, I feel like, find their way to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Things you never knew would happen.
Serendipitous.
Yeah. So I don't know if we touched on this. What brought you to Greenville?
Yeah, great question. I moved here from Cleveland, Ohio, September 23rd, 2005. Primarily, I wanted to finish my racing career somewhere nice.
Yeah. Great place to do it.
Cleveland, Ohio is there's great people there, but I never really liked it. I remember that when I was 10 years old, I asked my mom and dad if we could move to Florida in the winter. I just didn't like it, and I didn't get out to early 30s, but wanted to be somewhere that had better weather and could ride all year and no snow and ice and all this gray sky.
Rarely.
Yeah, right, rarely. Yeah, so we have 300 plus days of gray sky in Ohio. I don't like that. I didn't like that. So that's what brought me here. I wanted to, and I also wanted to build this business.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I could have done in Cleveland, Ohio, because it's not as ubiquitous.
Right.
Triathlon are not as ubiquitous up there.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is probably one of the best places to do it. Nashville too. I don't know if you've spent a lot of time in Nashville or cycled there or anything.
You know, it's interesting because we won't get into this deeply. Probably my biggest passion is music, and I've always wanted to go to Nashville to see live music.
You've never been
there.
Oh my gosh, you'll have to go.
I've been to Knoxville quite a bit, but not Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, Emma's lived in Nashville most of her life.
Yeah, she told me that. Went to Michigan for a little while.
Yeah, she definitely would have some recs for you if you ever go.
Yeah, well, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah. Someday I'll get over.
But yeah, they have a parkway there. Emma, you can talk about Natchez Trace Parkway a little bit if you want.
Popular,
Trace. Yeah, I mean, well, Nashville itself is not the most bike friendly city. In terms of like actually biking around the city, it's a little scary. But there are like certain spots. So Natchez Trace is one of the biggest places that like cyclists will bike at, because it starts. I mean, I guess I don't know if that's technically where it starts. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's the Natchez Trace Parkway Bridge, which is under construction right now, but it's just this really cool bridge, and I don't know what type of bridge it is, but it's cool. It's like got the big arches. But anyways, yeah, it's like 400 miles long. So, because it goes obviously like past Tennessee, through Tennessee. And you can just do like a really long, pretty out and back on it. And once you get, it's like, I know you didn't get to see a ton of it when you were here, Marlo. If you go, I'd like to take you like further out than we went when you were last year, because it's so pretty, like the further away you get, basically. But yeah, that's a really cool spot. And then other main place cyclist bike here is the air park, which is literally just an abandoned air park that's like a little over a mile loop. So I did multiple 5-6 hour rides where I was just going.
But surprisingly enough, because like we have really good roads to ride here. Nashville, not so much. I mean, they have Natchez Trace Parkway and the air park mainly, but like you wouldn't believe how many cyclists are there. I mean, I know there's a lot of cyclists in Greenville because I just think
Franklin is better. Which is like just outside of Nashville. The roads there are better.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a person we both follow on Strava who just became a pro, and we talk about her way too much on this podcast, so I'm not even going to mention her name, but
pro, yeah.
I thought she accepted her pro card. Did she not?
I don't know how it works. She hasn't made her debut yet.
Okay. Well, anyway, she accepted her pro card, so I don't really know how that works. Not a pro, obviously. But I guess she'll be a pro next year.
Or next race, I would imagine.
Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Yes.
You'll find out.
Yes, but anyways, I see where she rides a lot in the Nashville area. Yeah, I mean, this is probably like one of the best places you could live as a road cyclist. Yeah,
that's why I moved here.
It's amazing. I've heard lately a lot on social media, people will say things like, why go to Europe when you have the Blue Ridge Mountains to ride on? And I'm like, I mean, that's true, but like Europe's cool too. I'd like to go to Europe and ride.
Yeah. More culture there for cycling, probably a lot more trails.
Yeah.
You know, if you like trails, a lot of us prefer to be on the road.
Yeah. I prefer to be on the road. I think it's prettier, more scenic.
Why is people's feet going numb a thing? Honestly, I don't know.
That's a great question.
I've always wondered.
Yeah. So it can be a lot of things. It can stem from your spine and not have to do with your cleat pedal interface, but often it's the setup of your cleats, the lack of a good insole. I'm going to come back to that.
I have one.
Okay, there you go. And
know
also, if your shoes are too tight, that can be part of the problem. A lot of us, our feet bloat as we ride, so we loosen our shoes a little bit. A half hour, 40 minutes in. Those are the main reasons. Maybe the need for varus valgus shimming. Maybe not the right pedal system, so the need for varus valgus shimming.
What is that?
Okay, so if I can use my hand, your foot's not flush on the pedal when you're pedaling, and it's either inverted or everted. Okay, if it's my left foot, what we do is you put a shim in there to push the cleat back down, so the cleat is flush on the pedal. That distributes the pressure.
I have that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that distributes the pressure under your foot evenly across your foot instead of being, let's say, all, but not necessarily all on one side or the other.
Right.
Yeah, you put one in my shoes when I was here last, I guess.
Yeah. So shims are insoles. So almost without exception, all the cycling shoes we buy and triathlon shoes, the insoles are nothing more than a paint job for the inside of the shoe. They make it look a little better. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yes, some have a little metatarsal bump and this and that or venting, but a true insole should be firm or stiff from the heel and 2/3 up towards the front of the foot. So, and to that end, you can have them right here. We'll give a shout out to Superfeet, one of our vendors. Off-the-shelf insoles like Superfeet or Dr. Scholl's or what have you often solve the problem. Well, this works out well too. And then we also, another retool product. This is a retool footbed, and this is a blank. You can see it's flat. But what we do is we have a system over here where we make a mold of the person's foot, and then we heat these up with a heat gun. You can see they're firm from about there back. That, for a good analogy, is like spaghetti being boiled. It makes this flimsy, and then we can mold it into the foot system over there that has the perfect shape of the person's foot, and then they sit there for a while with their feet on it, and they end up with an insole that is custom built to their foot.
Interesting.
That's the creme de la creme. That's the top way to do it. And I've done hundreds and hundreds of those, and they work for almost everybody. There's always exceptions.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's a little different.
Yeah. A lot. There are problems that many people come to us for solving their aches and pains issues through fitting, including things like insoles and what have you. And there are many people that I will ultimately tell, usually after a few visits, that you need medical attention. Your bike's fine.
Oh,
yeah. So that's not uncommon at all. I have several athletes I've fit recently, and people I coach that it's like you need physical therapy. We send them to physical therapists in town. Usually Dr. Austin Kachi over at Swamp Rabbit Performance has signs on the wall right there.
Okay.
Give him a little shout out. He's who we send everybody to, and I have someone going tomorrow actually, or an orthopedic person, orthopedic surgeon, a sports med doctor. That's not uncommon. It's not always the fit.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably sucks to hear that it's not the fit because it's not the easy fix. But
it's true. But at least they're checking the fit off the list.
Yes.
Okay, your fit's fine.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
Conversely, we get a lot of docs in town and PTs that send folks to me to fit because the doc says, okay, I need you to check that box and make sure your fit's right. So they'll send several of those that happen monthly.
That was pretty much what happened with me.
Yeah, your PT or doc. So,
I see, I've already mentioned this. I see Scott at Zone Physical Therapy. Scott Kaler. Shout out Scott. But there's so many great PTs in Greenville. We had Felicia on the podcast. Yeah, she's amazing. Every PT I've met in Greenville is great. So what are the ways, because I know Emma mentioned foot numbing, and then I obviously had the hamstring injury. What are other common ways that an improper bike fit can lead to injury? So
the most common ones we hear about are hands, trapezius muscles, lower back, feet. Hamstrings are a little lower on the list, but we do get some of that.
Yeah.
And the way it happens is something's not set up properly.
Yeah, something's not right.
If the bike's causing it, again,
Yeah.
could be other stuff. Something is simply not set up properly, and there's lots of things. You have the saddle, you have the width of the saddle, you have the fore and aft of the saddle, you have the tilt of the saddle,
The saddle itself.
the saddle itself, the crank length, types of pedals and cleats. How well is all that set up? We talked about insoles, and then you have the reach to the front end of the bike, and how does that work with the person's flexibility and their hamstrings and lower back, and do they have enough core strength to hold themselves up properly without putting all the weight on their arms? And
right.
We could go on and on.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I thought it was interesting when I first came here for a fit. You had me do like push-ups on the table, and then I also had to do a core exercise. And I was kind of thinking, why is he having me do this? But then like it makes sense, If you're lacking a ton of core strength, you're gonna put more pressure on the other muscles in your body.
Right.
So
right.
I know Charles has been figuring that out with swimming because he is a rock climber and a cyclist. So he's got legs and he's got upper body. He's never really had to work his core.
Yeah. And I think I've told him to also.
Yeah.
He was here recently, and I think we found that he has his glutes aren't firing.
No, he's very quad dominant.
Yeah. So, and he has
this you can tell
quad issue, and maybe that's why.
Yeah. When you look at him, you can tell he's quad dominant. He has massive quads, but like not a ton of glute and hamstring going on. But he, I think that's. Sorry, Charles. I feel like every single episode he gets roasted some way or another on this podcast.
We'll have to have him stand here next time. We'll turn him around and show everything.
I know.
This is good. This is not.
He's like, if you keep talking about me on the podcast, you just have me as a guest. I'm like,
right.
Maybe we'll see.
You do that eventually.
Yeah, I will for sure. So a couple more things I had written down. The first one I think would be really interesting to hear from you, since you have been cycling for a really long time and also, had a racing career and now you work on bikes all day. How do you think cycling has changed the most over the past 20 years?
Ooh, the bikes have changed a lot. How's it changed the most? Oh boy.
Like, I know that bikes have changed a lot because now there's more disc brake bikes out there for one.
Tire technology.
Yeah.
And the comfort we can produce with the bikes now, and the advances in carbon technology.
Yeah.
And steel and aluminum to a big degree also.
Yeah, aluminum to carbon.
Bikes, carbon bikes are all the rage, but we do a lot of custom and not custom steel Pega-ready bikes, and they're obviously not carbon, they're steel. So the bikes have changed quite a bit. Hydraulic disc brakes, electronic shifting, pretty huge. And then the advances in technology and what we know, insofar as what's going to work as far as bike fit, that's obviously something we've been belaboring here. The advances in nutrition and training.
Yeah.
Okay. And the use of all this technology now, there are metrics now that in the last 5 years, I could probably name 5 metrics that have come along that weren't around, like functional reserve capacity. That might have been even longer now. All the readiness scores we can get from using devices and so on. So,
oh my gosh, my Garmin tells me like everything. When I sleep, it's like your body temperature decreased 0.1 degrees, and you're stressed. Your HRV is down to this,
and how much REM sleep you had and everything.
Yeah.
Just today, and it wasn't today. Today's a rest day in the Tour de France, and I've been following it. Yesterday, in a stage they've used quite a bit, they had their fastest
time ever.
Total stage time ever. And it wasn't by a lot. I think it was less than a minute.
Yeah.
But fastest ever. Now let's go back 20 years, 25 years. There was a lot of cheating going on. Supposedly now there's not.
Yeah. Like the doping and everything.
And I like to believe it's true. But how are we going faster now? So these other advancements.
It kind of makes you wonder.
To us.
Like in the past, if doping was a problem, but still they're going faster than they were. Is it the bikes that are faster? Is it people are more fit because of all these metrics?
I think it's a combination of all
what is
this.
it?
The bikes, the nutrition, the technology, and knowing things, and tracking sleep.
Yeah.
And, dialing in, what you eat and drink. And when it's changed. I listened to a podcast yesterday, and these Tour de France athletes are taking in up to 165 grams of
carbs per hour. I actually, last year
fun.
when the Tour de France was happening, I was looking at, they had like their social media will zoom in on an athlete and say like how many grams of carbs per hour they're consuming. And it's crazy because in triathlon, I mean, I'm just trying to get 80 and these people are getting double. I'm like, that's insane. I think I would explode.
Yeah. We talk not just about training, like we're, the things we're normally thinking about, but now there's training your gut.
Yeah.
To process more.
Oh, yeah.
How much fluid do you have to take in, and different temperatures that changes because of sweat rates, and your sweat rate and mine and Emma's are all different.
Right.
So there's all this.
Everybody needs something a little different. Yeah, that's really interesting. I see it a lot in triathlon too. I know Emma's not really on social media as much, but I follow Ironman and a lot of the pro accounts, and I feel like every single race that happens, there's a new best time set by someone. And it's like how much faster can they get?
When does it end?
When does it stop?
How long can that progress?
Somebody just broke the mile record.
Really? Somebody just broke I actually just saw that this morning. What was his name? I don't remember.
Oh, I forgot, but he broke it by like 0.4, 0.6 seconds, and it's been held for like 27 years.
A long time.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I know like Ironman has implemented a couple rules now because I think people have just been getting so fast. So I feel like every year there's new rules. Like the pros now have to be, there's different shoes that are banned for running. And the drafting distance used to be like, I want to say it used to be like 10 meters or something. And now it's like 30 meters. Because there would just be these like giant pelotons form, and you're not supposed to draft in triathlon, but like, it's just like, how long can they do it without being caught, because if it's, you get a 30-second penalty, but riding in a peloton causes your time to be 3 minutes faster, then it's kind of worth it.
Right. We see that in cycling too. Lots of rules, new changes, and new rules every year.
I think it's really interesting.
Some seem legit, some don't.
Yeah.
Kind of along the like same vein as the, I don't know, improved technology and stuff. What would you say is the one thing that like, this is an amazing new technology that everyone should be using because it exists now? And what's the thing that's kind of like, because I feel like when you get into, cycling, triathlons, whatever, all of it, I was so overwhelmed and still am sometimes by like how many things everybody says you need to get, and everybody has a different opinion on what's the most important thing to get. Like for you, what's that? And then what's the one that you can kind of be okay with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. The most important one, that's real hard to answer. Still to this day, and this has never been different in the course of humans doing sport, most important by far is training well, training as appropriately as you can for your event or events, and doing the specificity when you get closer to it, meaning trying to mimic the courses and what have you. I don't know, the biggest one. Form goggles are pretty cool. Have you two?
We don't have them, but I've heard about them. Have you, Emma?
What is that?
So form goggles are smart goggles that give you all your metrics, maybe not all, right in front of you, like sticking out of the front of the goggle as you're swimming.
Oh.
There's a function on there where you can raise your head up and lower it back down. I forget what it's called, but it then puts a line out in front of you so you swim straight, which is a big deal in open water swimming. And they have a coaching function too.
That would be cool for open water swimming specifically, having this really straight in front of you.
Yeah. And an athlete of ours that does open water swimming, 3-4 years ago, did a race and was like third last, and trained with them for a year, and the next year was third place. So they work. That's just one little thing.
Wow. Yeah.
I'd still say power meters on a bicycle for triathletes, roadies.
I love my power meter.
Power tells exactly what happened for every second. You don't have to worry about all these other things that influence, like, heart rate's influenced by so many things. So it's sort of a guide more than a thing that you can train real well with. So the advent of power meters is, 25, 30 years ago now. But still a critical device, and you can really fine tune when you peak and are at your best with it. I won't coach an athlete that doesn't have a power meter.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them understand, like, I need to have this device. I can explain it pretty quickly, but that's still one of the coolest inventions, even though it's not recent.
Yeah, it just made, like, I don't know, like you said, like, it's not affected by so many other things. So I feel like that was probably the biggest game changer for me in training, because I didn't get one until I was training for my first full, and yeah, it just made it so I could actually, like, my workouts were so much more consistent. And I actually knew if I was pushing myself hard enough, basically.
Yeah, you can dial it in. You can dial into what zone you want to be in with those numbers, and also it's very telling of how you're feeling. So you're doing 180 to 200 watts today for 1 hour, and you're suffering, whereas last week when you were doing it, you weren't.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good sign you're not rested enough.
Yeah, something's going on there.
Something's going on. And, could be other things too, obviously. But
yeah, we both have the Favero Osceola pedals, duo pedals, and they've been working great for us. We really like them. So yeah.
Yeah, Favero Osceola does a great job. Garmin does a great job with the rally pedals, and Speedplay does a great job with theirs too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all seem to. Most of the power meter, if not all the power meter companies, seem to have figured it out.
Yeah.
I can't think of a power meter I would say, oh, avoid that.
Right.
Any longer. There may be something new out there I don't know about or what have you, but they all have figured it out and they work pretty darn well.
Okay, I just have like one more thing that I have written down for you. And I guess we kind of already talked about, like, your favorite, what images to ask, like what would be the thing you would recommend the most. But going off of that, what would you say is the best piece of advice you would give for endurance athletes, like based on your experience, lessons learned from coaching, things you've observed?
Yeah, so you might think I'm going to say, wow, this one's difficult too, but this one's easy.
Okay.
Balance.
Yeah.
You have to have balance in your, not just training stress and recovery, but life stress, how much you can handle and how well you can recover from. And that involves not just your training for triathlon or cycling, what have you. That involves what you do every day, your work, how much is your commute, your other obligations like adulting and running to the grocery store. There has to be a balance there. Like pain on the bike. Okay, you can push through it for so long. Okay, if your balance is off and you're training, and especially for an athlete that's ultra motivated, if you can push through an imbalance for a certain amount of time, but you cannot push through it forever. Eventually, it's going to catch up with you one way or another. You're going to get sick. You're going to get injured. You're going to start having lousy performances. You're going to get frustrated.
Burnout.
So yeah, that's all encompassing. That's a lot of, that involves everything in your life, but balance.
Yeah.
Getting the balance right is critical.
I know, I don't know if I mentioned this yet. Well, I have a coach, Grace Alexander. Emma has a coach as well in Nashville. But something that Grace says to me a lot when, I'm not feeling my best and I don't know why. I'm like, I haven't been sleeping good, but I don't know why. And I feel like the first thing I'll think of is like, have I like had a lot to drink the night before? No. Thinking like, okay, I haven't had anything to drink in like a week, but I'm still sleeping poorly. Like,
well, that means you're dehydrated.
Well, like,
oh, you mean alcohol?
Yeah. I'm an alcohol. Yep.
You're gonna die real soon if you don't have anything to drink for a week.
I know. Yeah, days are numbered there. But yeah, like I have like the big things are like if you're not sleeping good, like have you been drinking a lot of alcohol? Well, no, I haven't had alcohol in a while. And am I hydrated? Have I been eating enough? Yes. So then it's like, okay, what else is contributing to my like elevated heart rate, poor sleep, low HRV? Maybe it's stress from work or stress from things that are going on in my personal life. Like could be a bunch of things, but that's not really something that I would have considered before I really started training heavily. Because, you would think like, I took a rest day. I didn't do anything today. Like I just relaxed, did some mobility. I'm going to be good to go the next day. Yeah. Should be fine, right? But like sometimes it's not always the case. Sometimes like things are just going on that's out of your control. And I feel like it's definitely really important to like pay attention to those other signs of stress. And like you said, balance, everything. Yeah.
There's a lot. It could be mental, physical, emotional. It could be a combination.
Yeah.
One thing I have all my athletes do at least once a year, sometimes it's more, is I have a blood panel.
Oh.
And I have them take to their doctor and get all those tests and see what all those numbers are.
Yeah.
You know, from hemoglobin to
iron.
All of it.
Yeah.
It's 25 different things.
Yeah.
And I actually put it in their Training Peaks account.
Yeah.
I think all of you know what Training Peaks is.
Yep. We both have Training Peaks.
I put it in scheduled, like, go get your blood tests.
Yeah.
And then they load the document right in there, and then we go over it.
Yeah. I mean, I get my blood work done regularly at my primary care physician anyways, but I do think that's really good because I know when we had Felicia on, we talked briefly about this, how as like a lot of women, especially female athletes, have low iron.
Sure.
And if you have chronically low iron, it can really like impact your performance, your fatigue, all the things. I take an iron supplement, so my iron is not chronically low. It teeters between like where it's in the range and where it's not in the range, but it doesn't affect me at this point enough to where it's a concern. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, my doctor's like, it's good enough.
Sorted it out. Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah. But yeah, that would be a good note for coaches out there to if your athletes don't already get a blood panel, it's definitely a good thing. I know bone density tests are also a really good thing,
especially as we age.
As you age, or you know, if you're dealing with undereating or you're having chronic stress fractures.
Sure.
Yeah. Definitely a good thing to check as well. Anything else you want to add, Jim?
Will you put our website?
Yeah, I'll put it
on my phone number. I say our phone number, but it really is my iPhone.
Yes.
That's in the landlines. You'll put all that in somehow?
I'll put it in the comments. I'm going to start a YouTube as well, so the full episode will be uploaded on YouTube. So I'll put everything in the description. Thank you so much for coming on. Yeah. We had a great time interviewing you. I know I learned a lot. Emma?
Mm-hmm. Really nice to meet you. Yeah. That was awesome.
Too.
Yeah. I know. I wish Emma could be with us.
Yeah, I'm sorry
person.
You weren't real time with us.
Yeah. If only we could fly her on like a private jet down here really quick.
Get this podcast going so you can buy the jet.
I know, right?
That would be
Business expenses, right?
Big expenses.
Yes.
Good luck with that one.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Endurance Edit. Again, I'm going to drop Jim's information in the description for the episode. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me if it pertains to this podcast. If it pertains to Jim, reach out to Jim. Come see him. And everyone have what should our W word be? We do a W word for Wednesday.
Wonderful.
Have we done wonderful? I don't even think we've done wonderful.
Wicked.
I don't think we have. Yeah.
We've done like strange ones. We've done like Walrus Wednesday.
We already got weird ones. Yeah. Wonderful's a good
Wicked
one.
Wednesday. It's a little aggressive, but the movie Wicked's a big deal.
Yeah. Have a wicked, wonderful Wednesday, guys.
There you go.
Thanks, Emma. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.